Hello and welcome to I Love a Pair, the podcast where we overshare so you don't have to.
This is Lizzie, Gen Z, whatever the hell that means. Does this mean that she's totally stressed out to the max, packing her whole life into boxes because she's going to university in September? Absolutely. And professional eye roller.
And this is Leslie, the mum, the realist.
Not sister. We're often mistaken as sisters because obviously I look so young.
Whatever. The mum, the realist, and the one who's looking forward to me leaving home.
So guys, for this episode we're going to dive into all things related to university. I'm going to be reminiscing on my amazing university days, and Lizzie's going to be talking about the terror that she feels about going to university this year. So Lizzie's going to kick us off with this one.
So what was the very first or best memory you had about moving in day of university?
Moving into university was a bit of a blur because I had literally got back from Ibiza at 5 o'clock that morning. I was still wearing a t-shirt from one of the clubs I'd been at all night the night before, so I wasn't quite with it. I remember your gran and granddad driving me to Stirling, and the car full of stuff, and arriving sort of later on in the day. It was still mentally busy, and then gran and granddad helping me hump all the stuff into the room and then trying to make it really cosy. But obviously I was filled with excitement about starting this new chapter in my life, but also pooping my pants because I didn't know who I was sharing the halls with, or if I was going to make friends. You were filled with all that sort of trepidation. But yeah, it was all a bit of a blur. I remember just sitting in the kitchen. We shared a kitchen with like 20 people, I think, and I just thought, I think I'll just sit in the kitchen nursing my lack of sleep and probably hangover, and see if I can meet anybody. But yeah, that was my first day. A bit of a blur, to be honest, but yeah, excited, I think, was probably the biggest word.
So advice for my first day: don't get hungover.
Aye, don't go to Ibiza for 2 weeks and then come back the same day. No, advice, obviously I'll help you settle in. We've already visited the hall, it looks brilliant. Lizzie's in one of the best halls at Salford Uni. There's even a wee gym at the bottom, so while you're humping all the boxes, I'll be on the treadmill. Just kidding. But yeah, you're only sharing with 10 people and it's 10 girls, so that might make it a bit better. It might not. But no, I'll just help you settle in, make you feel at home, do your big food shop, probably for the month, so you don't have to spend a lot of money, and then we'll go to IKEA and max the credit card out at IKEA. But it's a bit different because you're going to be so far away. I think that's the bit that I'm most nervous about, because you're going to be like 4.5 hour drive away, so if you're having a wobble or you need something, then I can't really nip round the corner and give it to you.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about actually going then?
I'm more excited than nervous, and because I'm currently at college, like the people in my class mostly aren't even going to the same university, which honestly, I won't lie, I haven't made that many friends on my college course, to be honest. So like, just starting a new chapter, as you said, like, is really exciting, especially since Salford is so close to like the big city of Manchester, and obviously we've seen the shopping centres and stuff like that nearby, and obviously, especially since my course is television and radio production, you know, like you've got Media City, which we visited and stuff like that, just like in the heart of where I'm going to be learning. So I think I am more excited than nervous, and obviously the one thing I'm nervous about is because obviously I've met people from my course now at the offer holder day we had in April, but they're starting in first year, all of them, and whereas I'm starting in second year, so I've been trying to, you know, add people on LinkedIn that are already in their first year and all of that, but it's just like more FOMO of like the fact I've already kind of made friends of the people that are in the lower year than me, and then obviously it's like kind of weird, you know, the thought of them being in the the lower year than me, even though we're already like friendly and stuff
But you're still
like
at
that.
university. It doesn't matter what year anybody's in. You can make friends in all different years, so don't get too het up about that.
Yeah.
I would just say try and join as many clubs and stuff as you can, just to try and meet people, as well as the ones on your course, as well as the people you're sharing with, and just try and go to lots of parties to meet people. That's my advice. I'll be giving you lots of alcohol, don't worry. So first meal I remember cooking myself, we had a tiny fridge compartment. There was no freezer as far as I remember. It was like a tiny fridge compartment the size of a shoebox. So you were very limited in what you could cook. I seem to remember cooking a lot of beans on toast and super noodles.
Yeah.
When we moved into sort of second or third year, I think that's when you had more cooking facilities. So there was a lot of, that's where I discovered potato waffles with melted cheese on the top. So that was one of my staples, was fish fingers, potato waffles, beans, a lot of beans. A lot of eating in the student halls, if I'm honest, chicken burger and chips at the long bar. But yeah, don't eat out, it's so expensive now. So I would say, because hopefully you'll have a bit more than a shoebox to keep your food in. So, but yeah, what do you plan on cooking to survive? Have you got a staple
Well, you know
meal?
that I'm good at cooking chili con carne. So probably that, especially since that'll probably go down well with the people in my flat. But obviously it's also sort of depending on what they like as well, because, you know, like if there's something I can cook that maybe they can't, then obviously that'll be like more popular.
Yeah.
Like if you're good at cooking a specific meal that everyone in your flat likes type thing.
I think probably what I'll do is I'm going to give you a little book with recipes in it. You know, like sort of staples, and then over the summer try and make sure you can cook them so that you'll be popular with your flatmates as well.
Yeah.
Unless you burn them.
Yeah, that's a good
like
idea.
Myself. Class or module you think you'll be obsessed with?
Well, I saw one and there was like a script writing one, and you know, like I don't know why something about script writing appeals to me. There's also one. For one of the theory-based ones, there's television genres. There's the theory-based one, and I think that'll be quite interesting because, you know, you just see a lot of crime TV on television nowadays. That you
Just don't commit any though. I don't want to get any police phone calls saying you've been immersed in some kind, or you're on police interceptors. I don't want any of that.
So what subject or module were you the most obsessed with? Obviously you can explain what course you're doing as well.
Well, my degree actually started off politics and social policy, but I did English as a sort of third option. At Stirling you had to do 3 subjects, and I liked it at school, and then somebody told me it was an open book exam, and I thought, well, piece of cake, I'll do that. I liked English. But after first year I did find politics a little bit snooze festy, and I also realised that I'm too good looking to be in politics.
Have you seen Elle Woods?
I'm just kidding. But so I changed my degree after first year, and I ended up doing English and sociology. So I remember the Gothic literature unit, really exciting. The guy was called Nick, I still remember that, and he just made it really, really interesting. And I quite liked reading Gothic literature. And for sociology, I loved reading about Japan, like with the Japanese culture. And I was so obsessed that I actually applied for a job with the JET programme, got it, and then turned it down. And that's probably one of my regrets in life, was turning that down. But yeah, they were my 2 favourite modules over my course.
What is Gothic literature?
The dark side. Like Frankenstein, things like that.
Okay. So, like, we were talking earlier about accommodation, obviously. So, is there anything, like, nowadays that actually reminds you of your old student accommodation? I say old, I meant ancient.
She's probably right, actually, because they've torn down all the halls that I used to be in and renovated them. But everyone always laughed at my room at uni because they could tell it was my room because I had green curtains up on my on the window, and nobody else had curtains up. I think I made it as homely as I could. And I remember I had a computer and it had this big massive cow fur, like print, this big cow fur cover around it, so you could probably see my room from space. But it also used to be above I think it was the boiler room at uni, so whenever I had like boxes of tins of soup and stuff under my bed, they always used to be half cooked when you opened them. So a lot of that got chucked in the bin. There isn't one thing that I remember about my room, just banging my head a lot actually. Maybe when I bang my head it takes me back to those days, but yeah, probably whenever I see bright green floral curtains it takes me back, or when I see cows in fields it reminds me of my cow furry computer cover. And what do you want your new room to look like?
Well, I've been looking at Pinterest. Obviously that's the best place to get inspiration because that's why it's called Pinterest. But like probably fairy lights on the ceiling, you know, just to make that homely vibe happen. Also just the aesthetic of it as well. But yeah, fairy lights. I don't get the hype with LEDs personally, that's not my style.
You have to be careful as well, you have to get pack tested. Things have to be checked over so that there's no fires.
Really?
Don't you never know the Prodigy song, I'm a fire starter. Twisted fire starter!
No.
You don't want to start a fire.
Yeah, I know that. I know I'm very accident prone as well, so gotta be careful.
After me.
Yeah, probably, I can't really picture anything else apart from nice bedding, like maybe pink or floral, as you said. Nice bedding.
I'll see if I've still got, I can get you some green floral curtains if you want, that would make it look nice.
No, thank
Are
you.
you sure?
What was the best memory of, like, your first night out, like, you know?
I don't remember the first night out, that's probably a reason for that. We used to go out every Thursday. Thursday night was student night. I don't know if that's still the case, but to be honest, in first year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday all seemed to be student nights. I used to go home every weekend because I had a job here back in Fife, so I used to have to come home on a Friday and stay till Sunday night and then drive back through. So I had a bit of FOMO in terms of the Friday, Saturday night vibe, but that's probably why I made up for it during the week. Yeah. But I didn't actually feel like I missed out on a huge amount because obviously I was still going out when I was here with my friends back home. So, but yeah, I remember going to the Long Bar a lot at Stirling Uni, just catching up with friends and listening to good music. 50p vodka night.
Really?
Yes, 50p vodka night. And sometimes I used to sneak my own half bottle in, which shows you just how skint I was. But yeah, 50p vodka night. And then on a Thursday we would usually go to the Foo Bar, which is an acronym, but I won't say what it is because I wouldn't be allowed to use that language. But Foo Bar on a Thursday night, getting out the taxi, like with probably something very short on, and then enjoy myself till 2 in the morning. But I was never one for having a chippy on the way home. Everybody always used to eat on the way home. I was not that person. I cannot eat when I've been drinking, so I just used to hang about in the freezing cold waiting on everyone else getting their chippies.
So that's why you eat beforehand though, so you don't get as
Eating
wasted.
is cheating, Elizabeth. You see how our roles are reversed here. Sensible, not so sensible. And what do you think Freshers Week will be like? What kind of things are planned?
Well, I've actually booked the Freshers events already, so I know that one of them is like an ABBA themed night, so I'm really looking forward to that one. There's also Boozy Bingo, because I'm an old woman at heart and I love myself a game of bingo. Unfortunately, I haven't won so far, but hopefully I'll win some prizes on that night because unfortunately it isn't money though, but as far as I'm aware anyway. But I don't know how I feel about getting drunk, you know, like I've never been drunk before, even though I turned 18 last year, but I've never actually been properly drunk before. And obviously they say like the first time you get drunk, do it in a safe space type thing, but so I might try and do it in the house beforehand just so I know what type of drunk I am. You know, like, what type of drunk do you think I'll be?
Loud.
Yeah, I'm already loud enough.
Hopefully you're not a crier. There's nothing worse than somebody that gets drunk and just starts crying. I know somebody like that at university. Every time we had a party, there was always somebody in it was always this one person just crying. And you could kind of count the drinks and then think, give it 10 minutes, and then, yeah, that person was crying. So as long as you're not a crier or aggressive as well. I didn't really know anybody that was like that, but yeah.
I think I'll be flirty, that's the problem.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, since Mum's embarrassing enough, I've got to ask you, what's the cringiest thing you did as a student?
Cringiest thing? There was probably, I don't really remember a huge amount of cringy things, but I do remember one night being invited to go to a party with someone, and I didn't know anybody, and I'm quite shy around new people, so, and I still am, kind of, but I had finished an essay that day, so I thought, I'll let my hair down, yeah, I'll come out, and I drank a full bottle of Lambrini, which is like one of the cheapest wines you can get.
Oh my gosh.
I drank a full bottle of that with a straw in my room before I went out. And the plan was to go to the party and then go out in the town. And I drank the full bottle of Lambrini, went to the party, flirted with a couple of people I shouldn't have, and then said I need to go home because I was then sick in somebody's toilet. And then you had to show your student card like after 11 o'clock at night, I think, to get into your halls.
I think that's what I have to do as well.
So I stumble and stagger in through the door, like trying to get my student card out my bag, absolutely steaming, and then tried to like show it to the guy, but probably like fell on him at the same time. And he's like, it's all right, love, it's only 9 o'clock. And then fell asleep, fully clothed, woke up at like 3 in the morning, didn't know where I was, felt rough as a dog, yeah, and then obviously it was just not the night out that I thought it was going to be. And are you worried about doing anything cringy like that?
I mean, probably, as I said, getting drunk and not remembering what I've done the next morning, and then, yeah, just as long as I don't show someone my student card when it's only 9 o'clock, then...
I mean, it could have been worse. I could have been sick of his shoes or something, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been. I don't actually remember.
I'm sure he does. He'll be traumatised.
He's probably still in council.
So, what's a habit that I have that you actually know won't fly at all at university right now?
You're a bit like me, procrastinate. Anybody that stayed with me knows that I did a lot of things last minute. There was a lot of all-nighters, a lot of... at that time I smoked cigarettes, so there was a lot of staying up, doing all-nighters, smoking 20 cigarettes overnight,
Jeez.
Drinking vodka out of a wine glass, and trying to get my essay in overnight, and leaving it all to the last minute. I was so bad at it, one time Gran had to phone one of my lecturers to ask if I had kind of an extension to later on that night. There was another time where you had 5 o'clock deadline, and if you were a minute past that, they shut the letterbox so you couldn't hand the essay in. You would get penalised. So here's me running across the rugby training ground, right? Not realising they were actually in the middle of a game. I thought that they were just training. So I'm running with this essay in my hand, sprinting as fast as I could through this rugby game, getting shouted at by all these big rugby players for interrupting their game. Got to the letterbox with about 10 seconds to spare, because as I stood there, I could hear the noise of it closing. Couldn't breathe for about 10 minutes, so I had to just stand and compose myself. And then on the slow walk home, I realised that I was wearing 2 odd shoes.
Oh, lovely.
Aye. So, yeah, don't leave everything to the last minute is my strong advice. Take it from someone who knows. You're better to try and work to your deadlines. One of the best pieces of advice I could give you is treat each day like a 9 to 5 job. So get up every day at the same time. Even if you've not got lecturers or anything to do, seminars, just go into the uni and go to the library and work 9 to 5, because then you can work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Don't do what I did, which was play hard, play harder, play even harder. Show your uni card at 9 o'clock because you're out of your face on Lambrini and running across playing fields with 2 odd shoes. You don't want to be me.
So that's one of the cringiest things you did then. Odd shoes.
Aye. But only the, 28 guys on the rugby pitch would have seen that. So I'm so glad social media wasn't around then. Can you imagine? There would be so much footage online. Yeah, I'd probably be
a sensation.
I would be a YouTube sensation. I'd be like a TikTok star if that was me. Or I'd be on Fife Jammers. One or the other.
So, like, we were talking about how, I don't have that many friends at college right now, and obviously starting uni is like a fresh start for that. But is there, like, any friends at university that you, like, that have stuck by your side the whole time, like, since university, like, you're still friends with now?
There's a small handful of people from university that I still keep in touch with. We don't get to see each other very often because we all live like different parts of the country. I did have one close friend from uni that I was like best friends with for like 20 years, but unfortunately we stopped speaking a few years ago now. But yeah, I would say probably you're more likely to keep in touch with your university friends compared to friends you made at school or friends you made at college or didn't make at college. But yeah, I think because you're more like-minded people and you've got similar interests maybe as well. I mean, not everybody that I was friends with were doing the same course as me. I think that's what you need to be aware of. Like, obviously you're going to be staying with people as well that you wouldn't maybe meet, but you will get to meet people through other people as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are still there's a handful of people that I still keep in touch with. But unfortunately, like the closest ones that I had, I don't speak to anymore.
Yeah.
Awkward. So how do you plan on making friends then? What kind of things do you think would be good to try and start off conversations?
Well, not starting off conversations, but I know that, you'd always say, like, be yourself type thing,
I don't be yourself. Oh, just kidding.
How dare you?
Just kidding.
But I think probably buying people drinks. That's a good one.
That's why I'm saying I'll give you lots of alcohol to take down and then just shots. Do shots, get tipsy, have a laugh. And then that's the best way to sort of loosen up and not have that nerves. I'm not suggesting you have to become a raving alcoholic when you're at university, but I think just be kind to people, compliment people.
Yeah, that's my go-to strategy is just complimenting people, specifically women. I'm more looking
and then, like I
that.
said, just maybe hang out. You've got like a nice kitchen which has got the living room area as well, so just like hang out there sometimes, see who's around.
Also having parties in my room or just the flat in
general,
and
then just join clubs as well and try and meet people that way.
Yeah, that's the main way, because I've already been looking at the clubs that there are and what I'm actually thinking of joining and stuff.
Because I didn't really do any of that at uni. I didn't join any clubs or anything because I think a lot of them were maybe meeting at the weekends and things when I couldn't do. So yeah, I didn't join any, but I definitely think that that's a good idea for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking because there's like a book club, for example, and I want to get back into reading in this summer and stuff like that because I do genuinely enjoy it. So like I was talking about how mainly friends-wise I want to focus on girls, but obviously attraction-wise, have you got any tips on meeting a guy for me at university?
Just what we said before, just join a few clubs, run through the rugby training ground with odd shoes on.
That's such a Bridget Jones coded moment.
Don't go to a party with someone that you fancy and then drink a whole bottle of Lambrini before you go so that you're then back home alone at 9 o'clock trying to show somebody your student card. But no, I mean, obviously you're living in a girl-only dorm, so it's a little bit different in terms of that, because I had, like, there was a few guys on the hall that, so you could chat to and get to know them, and then obviously they would have friends as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously you'll be out and about, bars and clubs, and if you're joining a few clubs, that's another good way of meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be people on your course that maybe you like as well.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, there's lots of different ways, but I mean, I didn't really have a lot of relationships at university because obviously I was already taken, but I did get my heart broken at university, I have to say. You know, you love someone and they don't love you back.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it is a curve. It's a learning curve at going to uni in all different ways. You know, like learning wise, education wise, life lessons, friendship lessons, lessons in love.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a big journey, but you just have to embrace all the highs and the lows, because it is honestly amazing. Like
Yeah.
I would go back in a heartbeat if I could.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I haven't aged a bit since I left university, like 25 years ago.
Proof
so.
here. Ha ha ha. So, like, you were talking about earlier that there was someone that was a crier when they were drunk. So...
Not me.
Promise?
Promise. That was not me.
So was there an assignment? I was mixing exam and assignment together.
An assignment?
Was there an exam or assignment that made you emotional?
What do you mean?
Like cry over or...
Well, again, that's going back to what not to do. There was a theory part of my course that I just didn't understand. It was just full of jargon and people from the past that I had no idea who was saying what. And I got so stressed out that I did an all-nighter trying to cram in about 74 pages of information. Got so overwhelmed. I just remember standing in the shower before the exam for about 45 minutes trying to waken up because I hadn't slept. Going into the exam, thinking it was in a different language, wrote down what I thought I knew, didn't really have a clue what I was doing, came out that exam, ran straight into the cubicle and cried. And then my friends rescued me and I was like, I've just failed that exam. They're like, no, and I had. So, so that was probably the worst part of the course, because I thought if you failed one thing, then you'd failed the whole of your course.
Yeah.
But you don't. You know, there are other ways of making up that module, so I did that. But yeah, so just try not to get too overwhelmed with one particular thing. But again, I think that goes back to plan ahead for what's coming and just do it little by little, and stick to that 9 to 5, because then you know you've done your work, you can relax at night, and that's what it's all about. You know, you don't want to be going out thinking at the back of your mind, oh, I've got this due tomorrow, or I'm going to fail this, or I'm going to be late handing that in. You don't want to start like that. So best piece of advice, treat it like a 9 to 5 job and then enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Is there anything about uni that's already making you feel emotional?
Probably just being away from you.
It's because I'm a hoot.
No, just genuinely because, like, as you said, you won't be round the corner for me to just, like, run around the corner and knock on your door and you can help me with it, whatever I need help with. You know, it's very different. Like, if I need help with something over FaceTime or something, then you can't really help me as well as you could in person and all of that. And yeah, not to say that you won't be visiting me from time to time, but obviously it's like not going to be every single day. And if, like, for example, the first week I started to feel homesick, you couldn't just drive
Yes,
all the way down to help.
If you're having a hard time, I will get in my car and come and see you, I promise. Or if you need me to come down at the weekend just to help you out in some way, I will. But I think that's the other good thing about technology, because back in the day, I didn't even have a mobile when I started university. I think that was like the third year I think I had a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So it was like a pay phone that everybody shared. You can imagine the queue for that. So I think that is one advantage of technology, because I am at the end of a phone all the time, but you can text message, WhatsApp, you know, we can catch up, video calls all the time. So
Yeah.
I think that there will be a better connection. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you're going to be far away, but it's not like I can't come and see you. You know, if you need me, I will be there.
It's not like I'm going abroad for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you aren't at the end of the street, but you know, we will make a plan for me to come and see you at least like once a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you'll be getting enough holidays, you'll be coming home. Although I'll be turning your room into a cinema. Did I tell you that? Is that a surprise?
Yeah.
I'll be changing the locks.
So we talked about what food you were like the best at cooking at university, or like
Cooking.
but like, what's the most iconic student snack you'd say of all time?
Well, I hate pot noodles with a passion. Never liked them. Never eat. I think I've had one in my life. Wanted to vomit. I thought, why would people pay for that? Maybe I'm making it wrong. I don't know. But super noodles were an absolute staple for me. Banging. Still eat them to this day, although they've obviously gone up in price by about 10 times. But yeah, super noodles I lived on. And you can even add a wee drop peas. One of your 5 a day. Healthy diet and all that. Cheesy waffles. Got to be bird's eye potato waffles. Cook them as normal. Bit under the grill, bit of cheese on them. Bish, bash, bosh. Mwah. I still like that to this day, but I don't make them a lot now, but yeah. And beans on toast, but you could jazz that up. Bit of cheese grated on. You know, quick and easy meals. But, you know, if your flatmates are into cooking, even better, because then you maybe learn from them as well. And like you say, have a few meals that you can show off to them that you can cook, because then they'll like you even more. And then they do the washing up.
So if your university life had a theme song, this is a fun one, what would it be and why?
There's a lot of songs bring me back to first year listening in the halls, but I think this song came out the first year I was at university, which tells you how many years ago it was. Don't Google it. But it is Chumbawamba, Tub Thumping. Don't Google it. And it used to come on all the time in the pub and the bars and the clubs, and I think it's quite an iconic song.
It is a good song.
It takes me back to those days, so I have a lot of fond memories of that song. But also, thinking back on that whole time, you get knocked down, whether it be in love, in your course, in that exam that I failed, running across the playing fields, I nearly got knocked down by that rugby ball. But you get back up again. So, and you're never going to keep me down. So I think that song is quite iconic.
Yeah.
And that just sums up my uni life. And what about you? If you had a theme song on what lies ahead at university, what song do you think that would be?
Probably something to do with like my life changing. So, like this song, "Man in the Mirror,"
by
Michael Jackson probably fits it, you know, because the opening line, you know, I'm going to make a change for once in my life.
I'm gonna make
No, you're going to get copyrighted.
Oh.
But yeah, like probably the fact that this is a very life-changing experience for me, probably the biggest thing I've ever done in my life, to be fair. And it's going to make a difference to my whole life. Hopefully a positive difference, that is. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this time in my life. So.
So proud of you. So proud of you getting there. Well, that's it for today. We hope you've had an hell of a time listening to us talking about university life.
If you want to share your university memories or tips with us, as long as they weren't as embarrassing as running through a field with odd shoes on, keep them in the comments down below.
Our little L raisers. This has been L of a Pair. See you next time.